Guys, after subscribing to this channel, please make sure that you also press the bell icon so that no notification, no new video of mine, any educational video, is missed by anybody.
This question coming on Rizzo, non-surgical vasectomy. Okay, the question can also be asked on non-surgical vasectomy. So don't get confused. All you have to do is write down about this polymer's name. Do mention that it was by the Indian Council of Medical Research that started this contraception, and finally now it is being used everywhere with a. Just imagine the trial run was 97% successful. It's not that easy to get a male contraception in market, and they've done it beautifully, these people, and we should be proud because there is this mechanism of action is nothing but blocking the sperms from leaving the testicles by forming a mechanical barrier. Not only that, it is also reversible. So just remember DMSO, remember, I think I mentioned it over here. Yeah, just remember the DMSO and SMA. Also remember that sodium bicarbonate, injection of DMSO with sodium bicarbonate, it reverses the effects. Okay. Then there is a method called heating. There is a method called immunocontraception. These are also methods of male contraception. Please do not be confused. These are all mechanical methods of contraception which we are using up till now, right? Have I ever mentioned anything hormonal? No. I've mentioned mostly about mechanical methods. That means condoms, maybe vasocclusion or vasectomy, heating. See. So, heating, see, there's not. It's not been used, obviously. It's basically tight scrotal supports, maybe a practical method of, this utilizing heating. But immunocontraception, there are certain vaccines which are coming up. See, passive immunization may overcome the present limited predictability of active immunization with sperm antigens. So what you can go ahead and do this anti-sperm antigens inside, and that can cause a couple of antibodies which might act on the sperms and render them immotile. That's the idea of immunocontraception. Again, still in the trial phase, not used much. And then you have certain chemicals. So this was all about mechanical. Male contraception, mechanical. There's going to be a slide which is going to come up next. A very, very impressive and good slide which will help you remember this method or this male contraception in your examination. And you can easily make a beautiful answer if you just remember that slide. Correct? So now, then there is another method. Mechanical is over, chemical has started. Now, amongst chemical, what do we have? These are chemical methods, but non-hormonal to start with. So you have certain, drugs, older drugs, certain spermicidal jellies, okay? Active spermicides. You have this gozipol, if you must have read before. And couple of, this toxicity of gozipol due to mitochondrial apoptosis and the reversibility of sperm suppression. All these, apart from that, these extracts of tryptorrhigium, this is another herbal, method of inhibiting the male fertility by impairing the sperm output and the function. So these are different chemical methods which you can obviously just write down. There is never going to be a short note asked on this because there is nothing to write actually, but you can mention these. If at all a question is asked on male contraception, you can always mention the name of these. And now I come to this slide, which will tell you everything about male contraception, which you need to know. What we have studied so far is these two, right? Male contraception in a nutshell, that means I'm talking about the non-hormonal methods. If you don't want to take the entire lecture, be sure that you at least take this part, because this is what is going to be my entire, let's say, PPT is made, around this flowchart. It's just telling you the different methods of male contraception. One is the non-hormonal, or let's say mechanical, abstinence and vaginal ejaculation, condoms, vasectomy, vasocclusion, heating, immunocontraception. And then comes chemical. Actually, immunocontraception should also be involved, should actually go here in chemical method, because we're not talking about non-hormonal. I'm sorry, not talking about hormonal. We're talking non-hormonal, like spermicide jellies or plant products, certain herbs, certain natural medicines like, your gozipol and tryptorrhigium vilfidoride, that kind of stuff we are including over here. So these are actually the chemicals, but non-hormonal. And now after this slide, we're going to be discussing on the hormonal methods of male contraception, which is a lot, which has to be remembered if you have to write down a good answer. but I'll make it very, very simple for you by these few things which you can see over here. So hormonal methods are divided into basically broadly three. You have androgen alone, which will form a major chunk of your male contraception hormonal methods. Okay, then you have a combination where you can use androgen along with progesterones, like we have this female pills in the same way you have the male pills and male gels and all that, which includes both progesterone, estrogens, and with androgens, not androgens alone. Androgen alone, you have lots of studies on androgens alone and lots of products in the market as well. Then you have others, and others you have nandrolone derivatives and anti-androgens, and you have GnRH blockade or FSH blockade or Nestron and others, right? So these are actually hormones, but not androgens. They are anti-androgens or GnRH agonists or nandrolone derivatives, which is not, androgens. They are one of the anabolic steroids, but not androgens per se. But in androgen alone, what esters do you have? So you have testosterone esters. See, testosterone or any hormone given orally, it is very difficult, to move to the target site without undergoing a first pass, right? Most of the hormones, they undergo this first pass metabolism. So you have testosterone undecanoate or enanthate or this MNTDC or DMAU. These, even if you remember just the short forms, it's almost impossible to remember the full form. I don't remember even after making the PPT, so it's fine. But so much as you can write down the short forms correctly, right? So DMAU should remain DMAU, it should not become DMAT or something. MNTDC should remain MNTDC, and MENT should remain MENT. So these are few couple of androgens that you should know, and they are being taken as so many different derivatives. So we know that it's taking an oral pill, male pill, as you can see. I don't have any discussion today, guys, but if you want, you can just keep your questions ready. We can discuss it towards the end. So you have so many methods. You have injections, you have pills, you have subdermal implants like microspheres, you have implants per se, you have gels, and you have depot injections. Okay, so these are different ways in which the androgens can be given. So all my slides to come, and this is the actual reason for it being so confusing, because somewhere suddenly they're talking about the injection, then they'll move on to the gels, then they'll move on to the microspheres, then they'll talk about implants, then they'll talk about male pills. So it was very confusing and complex whenever I was reading it, because of which I've just simplified and kept it on this slide. And there's a reason why I'm staying on this slide for so long, so that you can make your own notes, you can take the picture of this, and remember that this is male contraception per se. Right? So only those people right now who are there with me in this class would know that this is actually the way to go about understanding the male contraception. And this is on which, the question is going to be asked, if at all, it's asked on male contraception. They mostly ask about either, the non-hormonal methods, because they want to know about the RCOG technique over here, the vasoclusion. They have asked questions on RCOG alone. They've asked questions on non-scalpel vasectomy. They've asked questions on vasectomy. Condoms also they've asked questions on. This has never been asked. The chemicals and they will definitely ask you questions on hormonal methods, because now I'll start discussing and you'll understand how much do we have. The only reason they're not asking questions on hormonal contraception, male contraception, is because most of them, they are in the trial phase. But then again, you have a question paper 4, in which they speak about the recent advances. So even if they ask about the newer methods of contraception, male hormonal contraception forms a major chunk of that answer. Apart from, of course, your, vaginal rings or, the patches, which are your, these contraceptive patches and stuff, which I've already included in my last class, but I'll try to encompass them all together and give you at least a slide for the newer method.